This is the Eagle Point Trail from the Lizard Rock Trail at Wildwood Regional Park in Thousand Oaks, California. So we're right here right now at the main entrance near the parking lot to Wildwood Park. Here we're going to follow the Mesa Trail down to the Lizard Rock Trail, which follows the creek by Paradise Falls. It's at 447 feet elevation, as you can see there. Follow the Eagle Point Trail for 0.4 miles back to the Lizard Rock Trail, and eventually that all loops back uphill to the main entrance. This hike is a 4.1 mile loop that starts on the Mesa Trail, which you can see here, and eventually connects through Paradise Falls to the Lizard Rock Trail and the Eagle Point Trail. From the main parking lot, the Mesa Trail continues downhill, which will eventually pass Paradise Falls, and some interesting plants you can see along this trail include the chaparral yucca seen here, which has about 4-foot tall stems with beautiful white flowers. So here, where you would normally turn right to get to Paradise Falls, to do this hike, you're going to turn left and go along the trail that leads over the top of Paradise Falls and eventually connects to the Lizard Rock Trail. This trail continues going downhill, and if you were to turn right, you could go to Lizard Rock, but it would be a higher elevation trail closer to the main path. The majority of this trail is low elevation, as it follows a creek that has water year-round and has many shaded areas with coast live oaks and valley oaks, among other trees. Here you can continue right along this trail towards Paradise Falls. So most of this trail is going to follow the water right above Paradise Falls and beyond Paradise Falls. This stream has water all year based on what I could find, and most of the time you'll see plenty of ducks along here, and I'd imagine there's also a lot of frogs at nighttime, but we're only here in the middle of the day, so I'm not sure. So most of the trail after Paradise Falls is shaded, and there are also a lot of these areas with tables that are nice to take a break in the shade while you're hiking, and most of them are around creeks like this, so it's a nice shaded area. So at this point, the trail starts going along the stream that leads to Paradise Falls, and soon we'll be above Paradise Falls before it continues onto the Lizard Rock Trail, which will lead to the Eagle Point Trail. After this point, you'll pass the pathway down to Paradise Falls, which you can choose to follow or continue past. So here, when you're coming down to Paradise Falls, you're gonna instead turn right to the Lizard Rock Trail, which will lead to Eagle Point Trail. You can also take a quick stop at Paradise Falls to the left before continuing on the Lizard Rock Trail if you'd like. So this is right after entering the Lizard Rock Trail. It's following the water. Here you can pass by some small coast live oaks, but right now it's mostly in the sun before we come to the area that's mainly shaded, and there's definitely plenty of creek crossings coming up too. So this is the second of many nice patches of coast live oaks that provide cool shaded areas along the water, as you can see here. Definitely some nice clean water here. There is a lot of algae and plants growing in it, so I'd imagine there are definitely a lot of frogs here at night. Have to come here to be sure though. So especially in the spring and early summer when the water is highest here, there's going to be a lot of awesome reflection photo opportunities, so definitely look out for those. This is just an example of one of the many water reflection photo opportunities along this trail. So this is the first of quite a few creek crossings along this trail. It's just a small wooden bridge over the water here. There are some campsites further down the trail, but I'm not 100% sure when they're open because I've never seen anyone actually camping here. The water is clean and clear in a lot of areas, and there are some areas also with tons of reeds and algae where I'd expect to find frogs at night. So this is one of the less common trees you'll see along the hike. This is the valley oak. It's native to this area. You can tell that it's a valley oak from this shape of leaf compared to over here. Over here is the coast live oak, which has round leaves as opposed to the leaves that I just showed. I believe there are about 5 or 6 creek crossings on the trail, which all follow wooden boards over shallow water. The algae in some of these creek crossings, or these underwater plants, I'm not 100% sure what they'd be called. It's so thick in these areas. There's also a lot of dragonflies around here. So directly along the creek here, there are a lot of these trees that have some really cool twisted root formations that go into some of the stagnant water pools, which is definitely cool to see. So in some of the less shaded areas, there are a lot of these prickly pear cacti along the trail. So right here, you're gonna turn right to get on the Eagle Point Trail. After you enter the Eagle Point Trail, it goes uphill for some time before looping back through a campsite to the Lizard Rock Trail. There are also some cool old twisted western sycamores that you can find in some of these creek crossings. So this is along the start of the Eagle Point Trail. There's a picnic table here. It's a beautiful shaded area covered by lots of large coast live oaks, as you can see here. Definitely a great spot to take a break or for some photo opportunities, as always. So here you continue left up these wooden stairs on the Eagle Point Trail. This hike in total is supposedly only about 4 miles, and it is a loop that will eventually return to the main trails. It might be somewhat difficult to come up the stairs here because it is a bit overgrown. I would not recommend doing this trail in the spring or summer months, especially after a year with a lot of rain, because many plants and brush had grown over the trail and it became very hard to pass in some areas. Midway through the Eagle Point Trail has the only mountain view that you'll see on this hike, as you can see here. So this trail definitely is fairly narrow. There's a lot of dense vegetation on both sides, but as long as you're careful going up those overgrown stairs, everything else should be normal difficulty. The beginning of the trail was the hardest to pass, as I said, and most of the other areas were only passing through soft brush and grass. The trail continues uphill at this point, passing through some more areas of dense grass. So right here is the end of the Eagle Point Trail. If you turn right here, this is just rain runoff. It's not a trail, so you follow the end of the trail down here back to the campsite. So the Eagle Point Trail comes right out into this campground where it connects back to the main Lizard Rock Trail. That trail is pretty overgrown during the spring because there are a lot of plants growing through the stairs and just generally in the trail, so it might not be the best to do that around April like it is now, but it has some nice views. It's just very overgrown. After leaving the Eagle Point Trail, you continue back along the Lizard Rock Trail to the Mesa Trail to end the hike. So on the trail you might notice this orange plant that almost looks like plastic netting, but it's actually a chaparral dodder. So this is the final section of the trail before you return to the main Mesa Trail, which leads back to the parking lot. Here you go straight uphill towards the teepee, which will lead you back to the Mesa Trail. So be prepared, this end part is definitely the most difficult part of the hike. It's straight uphill. It can be difficult for a couple minutes and kind of hot on a sunny day, but it's worth it to go see everything below. So this entire hike with all 3 trails combined is about 4.1 miles. As I said, the hardest part is on the way back, and below it's mostly shaded. So that's the end of this hiking video for now. Thanks for watching.